Hey guys, Black Desert has done a pretty good job so far in improving the quality of life and convenience for players throughout the past few years, but there are definitely more things that can be done to make the experience even better. I've gathered some ideas and solutions on how to implement these ideas, and hopefully we can start a discussion towards making the game the best it can be. With that being said, let's get started. The first thing I want to discuss is something I've heard a lot of other people wanting to be implemented, and it is the idea of crystal presets. This means the ability to switch out crystals for a specific gear setup. The most common use for this is to have a setup for PvE and one for PvP. The current way of switching out crystals involves either spending pearls to buy a black spirit essence or crafting the crystal extraction tool, which involves needing magical shards. I had two ideas on how I think they could go about implementing this. The first way I thought of for them to implement the idea with the least amount of effort involved is to reuse the copy system that is already present in the game via tag system. They could essentially allow us to copy our own gear without the crystals included. That way, we can just simply equip the copied gear with whatever crystals we want. The second way I thought of is to have armors and weapons come with 10 crystal slots, but you can only activate 2 of them at a time. You would be able to freely switch what crystals are active, then depending on what crystals are active at the time when you save your skill preset, that will also save the activated crystals as well. I've already heard the arguments that they'll never do this due to losing sales on the Pearl Shop extraction tool, but I think this would overall become an extremely positive quality of life improvement for everyone and outweigh the negatives. The next thing I wanted to discuss is removing the shared cooldown of party elixirs. They can still retain their own individual 10-second cooldown, but I don't think there's any reason why every different type of party elixir should share cooldown with each other. There has been a popular surge of party grinding, especially after the class reboots happened. People have started exploring Olin's Valley and have even started grinding crypto resting thoughts in parties. The annoyance of having to wait 10 seconds between elixirs, especially if you're popping multiple by yourself, is extremely annoying and cumbersome. This will also be beneficial if they should add more future content that involves party grinding. Speaking of party grinding and any content that involves being in a party and platoon, I don't know if it's intentional, but you can iframe party members' heals and buffs. This was an extremely annoying thing whenever I ran the dungeon Ataraxion or a party grind such as Olin's Valley. A common situation would be that my party member would get hit by something that drops their HP very low. I instinctively cast my heal on that party member, but the party member would also instinctively start iframing to avoid getting hit. This would result in me wasting my heal and them not getting healed. This is the same issue with my buffs, where it wouldn't apply on my party members because they were using an iframe at the time. I'm assuming this is because when a player goes into iframe, their hitbox becomes non-existent until the end of the animation, which makes them unable to be hit by anything. I'm not exactly too sure how they can fix the issue, but I think this would again be very beneficial for any content that involves a party or platoon, such as Node Wars, dungeons, and maybe in the future, raids? Raids. Have you guys heard of Raid Just kidding. Raid wouldn't sponsor me. Wait, they did? Holy fuck! Are you depressed? Burnt out? A cringe lord? Try Raid Shadow Legends. It is a turn-based battle MMORPG set in a dark fantasy world, and I want you to be part of my world. In Raid Shadow Legends, click the link in the description below to download for free now. I've always wondered what raids in Black Desert could look like. Raids have been a staple piece of content in most MMOs nowadays. Common examples include Final Fantasy XIV.
So I want you to stick together, stick to the plan, stick to what we practiced already, okay? Because
okay, yes, Miss Moon.
It's gonna be very easy for us to lose one of y'all. You're so tiny. I mean,
World of Warcraft.
Whatever the fuck you do not stand next to other people.
Crushing was fair and serious.
Who the fuck was that? Crush him! What the fuck?
Lost Ark.
Today, I'm breaking down what an endgame encounter is like in Lost Ark. Yes, 23 billion HP in this encounter gimmick mechanics will occur. Albershot proceeds to shift the map, and one of the 8 players has to guide a certain shaped meteor into the corresponding symbol placed in the previous mechanic. Failing to do that wipes the raid. If you've managed to claim victory at this point though, pat yourself on the back, because that was the door phase and the easy part.
Etc. This type of content usually consists of a large group of players attempting to defeat a very powerful boss. In Black Desert, the closest thing to a raid are world bosses, which ultimately end up being just glorified punching bags giving mediocre loot most of the time. I would love to eventually see dedicated raids come to the game, and hopefully Ataraxian was a good stepping stone towards building the foundation to creating raids in the future. The last thing I wanted to mention was the addition of functionality to the mansion system. It was definitely a cool idea to add mansions, but other than being a large space to customize a house in Black Desert, that's all there is to it. I would love if we could potentially hire or invite NPCs from around the world, such as blacksmiths, priests, and maybe NPCs that provide character buffs. One that comes to mind is Carolyn from Heidel, who gives a critical damage buff. I also remember there being a mention of more mansions to be implemented in different regions. It would be such a cool idea to be able to maybe fast travel between mansions through perhaps a portal device or something. These are just some of the ideas I had for making the game a better game. I would love to hear your ideas in the comments below. Thank you again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Sponsors like these help me make better content and streams for the future. If you guys weren't aware already, I stream on Twitch every Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 8 AM PST. Come hang out, ask me questions, or join my Discord for live updates. See you next time.